I do a thing called stream thinking. A lot of creative people do it, but they just don't have a title for it. For some stinking reason, one day I sat down and said, well, I think you're a stream thinker. Well, why would you think that? Well, because it comes from the universe. Oh boy, don't put that out there. People will make fun of you. You know what? I'm going to have to. Stream thinking is being in the power of now, learning how to trust free-form writing. And I have to exercise that muscle, and I invite you to do the same thing. 1 page per day. Give yourself just 10 minutes. 10 minutes. No editing whatsoever, because the perfectionist has to be left at the door. It's going to give you plenty of time to talk about it in the end. Stream thinking. Your best decisions are made in the right now. It's time to own your own leadership. We are reading from June 26, 2022. And on that page, the words are, knocking your giant down. What's standing in the way of your skills and ability? What have you put in front of your path? Because the next steps and decisions mean change and larger challenges. Yet, you can still feel as well as hear that you need to be on the other side of that giant. Your calling is not your healing. As weird as it feels to be in your present season is how incredible this weirdness will serve as a tool for you tomorrow. Our greatest enemy is ourself, the maker of giants. We write the stories days and weeks before the arrival, and when the day comes, because your heart convinced it to be, you're standing right there next to the giant. Defeat it with distance. Getting too close gives the giant the advantage. Distance defeats giants. You got to change the way you think long before the moment of now. Wow, right away, this gives me visions with my martial arts. I'm a 3rd degree black belt. Distance is very important. I remember in combat karate when I first got into it, the first steps, combat. That meant getting in there, doing damage, get out. One of you is going to the hospital, and it better not be you. We didn't think about distance because with combat karate, it was about getting the job done. But as I grew into the ranks of Taekwondo, it wasn't about getting on the inside and getting the job done. It was about utilizing the spirit of distance, knowing the circles and the levels that was going to be required for me to get into a certain area to score points. Sure, a lot of people have said Taekwondo isn't a martial art. It's a game. Okay? When you go to a tournament, it is a game. But in real life, you use the methods of teaching to put you in a situation of better thinking, better delivery, better distance. I think it's a human thing. Everybody wants to get really super close, especially in the world of business. We want to collaborate. We want to build together. We want to celebrate together. And when times get tough, what happens to that togetherness? Where does it go? What happens is that we took the time to chum up. We got too close to what was going on, and we forgot that we had to have a certain amount of distance. I don't party with the people I work with. I bust tail with the people I work with. But when it comes to celebrating life, you keep your distance. That doesn't make me a great businessman, does it? But as a leader, you learn to listen to those that surround you on that team, but you keep enough distance so that you don't chum up. Figure out what your distance is. I remember I would spend hours with my very good friend Nathan. And Nathan and I would always talk about the 3 levels of distance. Too close, not close enough, distance enough to where I can study the actual giant that stands in front of us. If you get too close, the giant could swing and hit you. If you're too far away, then you can't do anything to the giant to get through that storm. So you've got to figure out in your walk and way what the proper distance is in order to move with what you feel is the right decision. Distance. Start figuring out where you are when it comes to the giants in your life. And when you start figuring it out, you'll start saying, hey, look, I'm here. It's there. Am I too close, too far, or the right distance so I can find victory? I'm Errol, and that's Stream Thinking.